Hi guys, my name is Aaron, and I just wanted to say or talk about my most weirdest, my not uncomfortable or worst date or whatever. Okay, so for privacy purposes, we're gonna say his name was like Tehran. It's pretty close actually. Um, so okay, on my dates usually they don't pay for me. When I was younger, I kind of went out with anyone, and I didn't care. So I've never really had that like one guy that like pays for me and is super nice. But that's what he was trying to do. But I didn't know at the point. So we go and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to make you try new things and blah 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 blah." So he takes me to the sushi bar. I've already been to it, so I already know what to get and I'm already super happy. But I was like, "Okay, I only got I have a budget being a college student. I only have like a few bucks to spend." So I was like, all right, let's go. So he takes me and he picks me up. We arrive, and like everything so far was chill. I liked it. I was like, okay, he seems nice. Everything is okay. But as soon as we get in, we're like ordering. I already know what I'm gonna get because of course I've already been there, so I already know what I like and what I don't like. But he, on the other hand, was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna get some lobster. I'm gonna get some octopus. I'm gonna make you try octopus." I was like, "Well, I've tried octopus, but I mean, if you want to buy it, go ahead." And he was just like, "Oh, you have? Oh, okay." So he was just looking at all these things, and he took like a good 20 minutes to find out what he wanted to order. The place was packed, so the waiter was like trying to come as fast as he could because he didn't want us to think that he was like taking too long. But every time he came to us, Tehran was like, "Oh no, I'm not ready. Actually, I need a few more minutes, or this or that." There's always something keeping him from like ordering because he wanted one thing, then he wanted another, then he wanted like five things, and then finally he decided what he wanted. He was like, "Okay, so we're gonna order," but the waiter wasn't back yet. So he decided to make conversation, which is cool because yeah, I don't want it to be awkward and like just quiet. So no, he leans closer to me and he's just like, "Oh, you're so adorable, you're so cute," and blah 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 blah. And he's like, "I love Hispanic guys." I was like, "Okay, thanks." And he's like, "Oh, I love your cheeks." And he has the audacity to like reach out, he grabs my cheek and he like pulls it, and I feel so uncomfortable. I felt, I don't know, I did not like it. I don't like when people touch my face. I mean, if you're my friend, go ahead. I don't care. Like, we're friends. I do that too. Like, sometimes I'm just looking at my friend and I'm just like, I'm gonna poke you. And I just like poke their nose or something weird and stupid. But him, I didn't know yet, and it was just kind of awkward, and especially just pulled my cheek. I've never had that done. So I was like, why are you doing this? But he's like, "Oh, you're just so adorable, and I just love a guy with like beautiful round cheeks." I was like, okay, that's cool. So he just continues to touch my face, but I don't want to be rude and be like, "Get the fuck off me." But so I let it slide. The waiter comes, and we finally order, and then Tehran was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the restroom," and I was like, "Alright." And the waiter kind of gave me like this little side like, "What's going on? Like, what are y'all doing?" kind of look. And I was like, "Oh, can I ask you for a favor?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, if things get awkward and I need to be saved, I'm going to raise my hand and I'm going to go to the restroom. And you just like distract him." Because at the point, I kind of wanted to go. I was like, I don't know, I didn't feel comfortable anymore. I was like, "Oh, I just want to leave." So I was like, if I raise my hand, I'm going to say I'm going to go to the restroom. And where is it? I was going to ask him. And he's like, "Alright, okay, I got you." So he leaves. Tehran comes back. And our food comes. And he's like, "Oh no, try this, try this." And I'm down to try anything. And I had got like a little small, like 5-piece meal kind of thing. 5 sushi. You know, like sushi's like that big. So it was like 5 of those, not filling. But he was like, no, try this, and he was like feeding me, and I was like, okay, okay, and I was like biting it, and I was like, oh, this is good, this is really good. And the entire time I really didn't want to talk because I really didn't want to talk to him in a way. I don't want to seem like a jerk. But, and he was like, oh, well, I guess you're uncomfortable because you're not talking that much. And then after I ate, I was like, you know what, I need to do something. So I grabbed my phone and I started texting people to like give me a conversation. And he's like, well, see, I think you're uncomfortable because you're like texting. And I was like, oh no, where'd you get that idea? I should have just been honest and been like, yeah, I'm not really digging the date. I'm kind of, I don't know. I don't like that you touched my face. I don't usually do that or this. But so I continued to let him like touch my face and feed me and do all this other stuff. And he's like, oh, well, how come you didn't get any more? Like, you don't have to like eat a little bit for me. And in my head, I was like, well, okay. I don't care who I'm in front of. If I feel like I want to pig out, I will usually pig out. I'm not like shy to do stuff. So I was just like, yeah, I wasn't that hungry. I didn't want to tell him I was poor. So when it came time for the bill, he pays for it all, and I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And he's like, yeah, obviously it was a date. And I was like, oh, well, thanks. And he's taking me home. Like, I'm like, yeah, can you just drop me off? And he's like, alright. So he drops me off, and where I live is kind of like this kind of fancy like apartment complex. And he's like, oh, I've never been here. So he's getting out of the car, and I'm like, oh no, stay in the car, go home. No one wants you here. But no, he comes out of the car, and he's walking me to the door, and he's like, oh, can I get a tour? Can you show me? And I was like, okay, I think I can play this off, because I wanted to work here, because like the apartment complex offers people jobs here in order to pay for their room. So I wanted to do it. So I had already practiced like giving tours with my friends. So I lead him in a perfect circle to where he can see everything but my room. And I end up right at the entrance where he dropped me off. And I was like, well, I hope you enjoyed the tour. Please come back again. And I hope you choose the Lofts. That's where I live. The Lofts as your next home or whatever. And he's like, oh, so that's how it is. And I was like, yes. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. And he's like, okay, well, you know what? Yeah, I don't think we're going to talk again. And I was like, okay, sorry. That's cool. And like he does this thing where on his phone he presses like some randomizer for your name. So my name came to be like Chinese homework. That's weird. But yeah, and in his phone my name was Chinese homework, and he's like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna happen. I was like, okay, well, that sucks. So I don't know. If you think I was the bad guy, just let me know in the comments. And I'm trying to start like a blog channel, but I don't know yet because I don't know if I'm doing this right. Well, just let me know. Bye.